Our Zerg player at the bottom of Antigua Shipyard once again up against the Terran. We have the Xenix player with 2 wins already, 1 loss. It is
Xenix SuHoSin.
relying on the Roach Baneling attack in every single game on 3 bases. He pulled it off over and over again on a Daybreak. His last victim was Jagji, who is now out of Code S and has to compete in Code A the next season. SuHoSin's opponent starting at the top of Antigua Shipyard. In the teal, we have a Slayers player.
Slayers Ryung.
Ryung so far with 1-1. He lost to Vines, but he was able to take a game of Jagji. Well, let's face it, everyone today was able to take a game of Jagji.
The way you said that, it's actually so funny. It's like, oh man. I don't know, like, that was just really funny.
Jagji just not in his best shape today. It's a best of 1 format, and the up and down matches are always kind of crazy. It's not like Jagji's a bad player, but this it comes down to the shape you're in and on a specific day. And today it was just not the best day for Jagji, not at all. He might have to play the game against Vines later on, and if so, it would be unfortunate because for him there's nothing on the line anymore. Oh, the drone scout dies. Well done by Ryung.
Yeah, that was actually... Nobody expected him to pull off an attack with both SCVs at once. That would have been crazy. He did it, though. Hatch first goes down, of course. Pool now for Suho. We will see a command center very soon for Ryung, who will likely then follow up. Well, this is something that has been happening. A little bit more players have been going for that faster 3rd command center than into the Banshees with tanks play. But most people still, even after the Queen buff, are going for Reactor Hellions. Will we see Ryung double gas here and go for Reactor Hellions? That's kind of the biggest question. Because on this map, the creep spread is so important towards that 3rd base and also towards the center, towards that important Xel'Naga Watchtower, because the center of this map is the most important part of this map. I think the center of this map more important than any other center, more important than any other watchtower. It's so crucial.
While we have the early game unfolding, I can actually update you on the standings in the group. I had another look at my sheet, and I can tell you right now that SuHoSin, he has to win this game. If he loses this game, he is in Code A. He's out. Because as the situation is the following: if Ryung wins, he has still to play a game against Polt, and the winner of this match is going to advance. The winner of the match is going to advance, that's a given, because he will have the direct comparison and everything. If Vines, on the other hand, loses against Jagji, he will be on 2-2, but he was able to win against SuHoSin, so SuHoSin has no chance with a tight situation to advance over Vines. Holt was able to win against Vines, and therefore he would advance as well. So this game puts like everything on the line for SuHoSin.
Yeah, that's right, actually. I hadn't thought about it that way.
I didn't actually think about it earlier as well, but now I just had while you were just explaining the specifics of the map, I had another look at the matches that were coming up, and I kind of suddenly realized, okay, wait a second, it looks like this is basically already a situation where that's the last match that SuHoSin has to play. So that's really important for him.
Yep. You're right. It's extremely important. That's everything comes down to this for him, and he will be up against Reactor Hellions. In fact, that's what Ryung is going to go for. He's adding his starport now, and we'll probably make a tech lab on this barracks. We'll follow up with Cloaked Banshees with Reactor Hellions. There's something we've seen Polt do a few times. A lot of players like to use the Hellions to weaken the Queens, try to take the Queens out. If you take all the Queens out, usually you still can't do too much damage, but it delays the creep a lot. You can try to find weak spots, and here's the Roach Warren going down, man. He's doing it again.
The Roach Warren and the second Extractor. He's playing exactly the same strategy that we've seen him play on the last few games. And what is Ryung going to do?
Well, he's
Ryung
going
with the Banshee. And with the Banshee, he will be able to defend a lot better against this, but he needs to be fast about it. There it is. The Banshee is building. He doesn't necessarily need the Cloak at this point. He will get it, at least I think so, but the Banshee is really important. To have the Banshee that will help him against this attack.
I'm really surprised he's not getting Cloak. Hardly anyone does this build without Cloak, because it just makes the build so much stronger. But he does save a lot of gas with this, and we'll be able to make the transition into siege tanks a lot easier, a lot more smoothly. The Banshee is going to be really great at kind of... It depends on how well the push goes for Suho, but the Banshee does a lot of extra damage. It's not as good as siege tanks, of course, but
I'm really surprised that Suho is doing the exact same build
especially
again.
with his Code S life on the line, I would not want to do that same build.
You have to assume that your opponent watched the last few games you played. So there's the second Banshee and Marauders are being produced. I don't know if he moves out with the Banshee right now. He starts to attack the Roaches. I'm certain of it. There it is. And I'm not quite sure. It's not going to work. He's not going to do any damage with this.
Nope. 1, 2 Roaches going down. Looks like the third one will go down as well. Look at this. Even using the Hellions to do that extra damage. Since he's not losing any Hellions, the extra AoE damage that he's doing with these Roaches is quite useful. And already he's stopped the Zerling production. He's starting to drone. I think he knows this is not going to be successful.
Yeah, he has the bunker on the high ground. The first Marauder pops out. We have a second Banshee too. And he just does too much damage. He will... This is just too much. Where's the second Banshee actually?
It looks like it's being rallied to clean up any additional reinforcements, also to check and see if
it's
rallied.
Just on the map. That's actually a mistake. He should have used it in order to take down the Roaches, losing a lot of Hellions because of it. So the second Banshee not able to do anything, and now he's moving the first one away as well. He's losing way too many SCVs here, losing 3. He could have taken most of the Roaches down without losing anything at all. Yeah, it's still not a good trade.
That was kind of weird, but yeah, like you said, in the end it was not only a pretty bad trade, but almost a really, really bad trade. Like, the supply now even. Spire going up here, double Armory going up for Ryung. Something that we've seen very few players do, most specifically Maru. And he's going into his second factory, has not landed his barracks. Looks like we're going to see him go into mech play from here. Banshee's still alive and kicking will be going around to kill some drones at the eastern expansion where there has been no Spore Crawlers placed down. He's going to rely only on the Queens here. He does have an Overseer out that he made out of fear of Cloak, but it's not something he's going to face. With no Spores, though, he may actually lose Queens. He does not have any Transfuses available. We'll see how he decides to engage us. He's going to go for drones first. If the Queens get the first hit, he will have to turn around.
Yeah, he does.
But with Hellions coming in to help out, and with the third Banshee out now, he could actually continue to do damage here.
This mech play of Ryung with the 2 factories that he's adding right now and all these upgrades, it can be very, very strong here, especially against the Mutalix composition that SuHoSin is opting for now. And Ryung must realize that with this opening, his opponent will follow it up again with the Spire. That's what he's seen every single time. And now he's moving in already.
First here, coming out, you're right, he's knowing the Spire is going to be the follow-up. Look at how much creep he was able to kill with the Banshees and the Hellions. This is so important when you're going mech. If your opponent's creep spread is basically none, he can't really actually engage you. Third base is up and running for Ryung now as well. He's looking great in this game. And Suho doing the same build every game, it really is going to eventually start to come back and bite him.
This is actually a pretty cool game. I have to say that I'm a bit disappointed about the one mistake that Ryung made with this Banshee, because if he would have actually used this Banshee to target down the Roaches a lot earlier, then he would have been in a much better position as he already is. He defended quite well against it, but he could have done better.
I think he wanted to go and check to see if there were anything rallying, but he just didn't. He never went back to send it back to defend. Like, I think he was like, all right, are there more Banelings morphing? Are you actually continuing to rally here? Then he was like, no, but he forgot to send it back. Thor rallied into the main here, even with SCVs to repair in case of a huge round of mutas, and he is going to be shut down so hard here. No unit, though, at the natural. In fact, he doesn't even have turrets up here, so his main base was well defended, but now he's starting to lose some SCVs at his natural.
That is really unfortunate.
This is really bad. He's not even sending them away.
A beautiful... He does it really well. Not magic boxing the Thor, but magic boxing on top of the SCVs to take down more of them. 15 Harvester kills for SuHoSin now, but he's moving into the Thors.
Yeah, this is a bit shaky. Thors have +1 now.
Yeah, and they take down a lot of these Mutalisks.
Not the best trade in general.
Not at all.
You know, right now we have 66 to 56 Harvesters still in Suho's favor, but not heavily so. The Banshee's getting caught here, and that is pretty huge. The Thors are going to take forever to come and defend them, so during this, he's actually going to lose several of them. 2 going down, does defend the other 2. That was a pretty big loss as well, because the Banshees do a lot of damage to Roaches on the ground, which are going to be the key to dealing with these Thors. Without the Roaches, you cannot deal with the Thors, and he just lost a lot of DPS against that.
Yeah, you're perfectly right. This is actually a really bad trade here for SuHoSin. The attack that he had just committed to did not really work all that well. He killed enough Harvesters, but then he loses too many Mutalisks. And oh, this is great.
The Banshee's doing a lot of extra damage. The Thors, though, not able to really fight as well as they would like to. They're attacking the Mutas, and actually Suho is going to get a good trade here. taking out the Hellions as well as, or getting a big hit on the Hellions with Banelings.
Oh, that was so close. The Mutalisk just survives and takes down the last Banshee, and he should not have attacked the air units. He should have just sacked his Banshees.
Should have tried to target the Thors a little bit better. Oh, look at this nice micro by Ryung, actually.
No repair, though.
Yeah, no repair, but he did force the Roaches to take a lot of extra Hellion hits, and you can see AoE is actually pretty good, especially when you have 1-1 upgrades. The Roaches are at just +1 Carapace, no attack upgrade for them.
SuHoSin is taking a supply lead here, and quite a significant one.
That was the most important battle for him to win, because now he can actually continue to rebuild units and perhaps even take a 4th base while his opponent is on the defensive. Oh, look at this actually coming in. Suho showing a great amount of practice in this matchup. Ryung, though, still going strong. His Thor is being well repaired here.
He needs to focus on Thors. He just attacks one Thor. That's something that he can't afford. If you micro this well, you can win the battle, but not if you just A move. There was an A move here, and that did not work.
No,
and with proper focus fire, you take down 2 Thors.
Ryung now sending just enough SCVs out to repair the last Thor.
Too late.
Just barely having enough to keep it alive, and a great hold here. This game's so back and forth right now. +2 vehicle weapons on the way for Ryung's units, as well as +2 melee finishes up. Wasn't ready in time for that fight.
Better unit control would have won SuHoSin the battle here, but Ryung played this quite well with his SCVs, repairing, really making sure that he's not losing the Thors. They are such an expensive unit, and it was well done. We still have both of them on roughly 150 supply, while SuHoSin is now going for a Mutalisk switch once again. He wants to be mobile, and he wants to attack his opponent's economy.
The worker count is 80 to 66, Caldor.
Yeah.
That's a lot of the SCVs have been used just for auto repair on these units, but even so, his economy is great. He's made 2 additional orbitals.
Guys, just to emphasize on this once again, we have 83 SCVs, not drones.
Yeah.
And he's still building SCVs.
Yeah, he's building more. That may even be too many.
That is too many.
He's going to be able to use these to repair, but only if he actually uses them well. He's continuing to produce Banshees here, which is something I really, really like. Here we go. The Roach is coming in, but this time I don't think there are enough. There are way too many Thors out. +2 is about to finish. It's not done yet. The Baneling's getting some good hits on these Hellions, in fact.
He's focusing on the Thors. 1 Thor down. He's taking down the second one. Once again, not proper focus firing. 2 Thors die, but it's not enough. He's trading here, but he's trading really cost inefficient. 14,000 resources lost against 10,000. He doesn't have a 4th. I think at some point SuHoSin will run out of steam here.
Hey, look at the resources banking up for Ryung. He's got almost 2,000, whereas Suho is just continuing to make Roaches here. They're not being very effective. There's a bunker in play here, a lot of Thors as well. If he kills SCVs here for losing these Roaches, it's going to be fine for our Terran player because he just has so many SCVs banked up. Still in a lead, 77 against 66, even after this Roach harassment here. It's going to be cleaned up, though. Great micro by Ryung, repairing the bunker. Only 2 Marines in there, but it's enough.
This is actually just an insane game at this point. Ryung is still in position of he has 2,200 minerals. He kind of is lacking. He's lacking a lot of gas here. He's finally building a lot more factories. He does not have the production capabilities of building all these units that he needs right now. But additional gas would be brilliant for him. And he's trying to establish a base in the middle of the map. He's trying to get this 4th.
This is a tough base to try to establish right now. Even though he's ahead in supply, the Roach attacks have been quite strong. He's been able to trade decently with the Thors. He could have, like you said, traded better with better micro. The problem for Suho now is that his opponent is starting to add more tanks into the mix. Tanks are cheaper than Thors, and they're much better against the Roach composition, as well as the Banelings that Suho's continuing to make. +3, high-sec auto-tracking now on the way for Ryung, and he will be able to hold the space. I think he's made a ton of additional turrets with those extra minerals he had banked up, so the Mutalisk harass in the main base is going to be impossible, especially with the range coming out here.
It's a really tough situation now for Suho. There he sees the 4th. He's trying to go in here, but the Planetary Fortress upgrade is on its way, and Suho can't really commit to an engagement. He's trying to get a 4th on his own, but being on the same amount of bases as a Terran player is always a bit tricky as Zerg, especially with this many upgrades for Ryung. The Slayers player doing a great job here.
Well, Suho is trying to find an opening over here on the side, but there are so many Banshees, they're actually just going to start taking these Roaches out. Look at all the extra orbitals he has here that he's not even really using right now. Baneling's coming in here as well, but immediately Ryung pulls all of his units. Suho does take a 4th base with this, though, and this trade is not going to be horrible for him. I'd like to see him pull the Banelings out, though, because they're not really good. He targets down an orbital with them. That is a huge waste of resources. With 2 orbitals sitting right next to him, would you really want to send like 15 Banelings to die on an orbital? That was a terrible choice.
And he's currently paying for it. He still has a lot of minerals, but at the same time, Ryung just in such a great economical position. And I don't know, this is looking really bad for Suho right now. As I said earlier, he's running out of steam.
He had a supply lead, but now he's down to 30 supply. Throwing away those Banelings are a lot of gas. Gas he cannot afford to spend. He just took a 4th base, but it's late. Saw some Hellion harass over there, but there were no SCVs to kill, so it was like not a big deal. The Mutalist count is starting to get a little bit out of control. He's now gone up to 16 Mutas. And if he can use these effectively away from the Thors, away from that immobile mech army, he'll be able to do a lot with them. But there's just so many turrets in the main, he's going to only be able to attack this 3rd base location. But the Thors are already en route to defend. With +3 about to finish, these Mutas could go down. Great shots they're taking out. Oh my god!
Wow. That does not work well for Suho, not at all. He has no transition, that's the problem. He has not the economy to get a transition out, but he's getting 2 additional bases now because he wants to get this economy. But
Ryung has just got such good coverage of everything. He cannot even find a hole.
He has the turret now. He has the sensor tower in the middle of the map so that he can see what exactly SuHoSin is doing. And he knows about this expansion. He's even moving a lot of Hellions now down to the 4th base of his opponent. And the Blue Flame Hellions, well, they're taking down a fair amount of Harvesters and Zerglings here, not doing too much damage as the Mutalisk rescue everything, but still.
During that time, he was able to reposition his units in the middle. His tanks are now sieging on the former gold base, that center base for the Zerg that he's trying to take. He has +3 now for his mech army with +3 armor on the way. A well-defended planetary. If Suho attacks here, yeah, maybe he can kill it, but it's going to be a horrible trade. He's going to kill it, but the SCVs remain alive, and he lost about 20 supply as a result. He could just land that orbital. That orbital is, it's not even an orbital, it's a regular command center. He was just sitting there waiting to replace it.
This is a crazy game. SuHoSin is still at 185 supply, and he has the 4th base. He lost the base in the middle, but now to the bottom left, getting another hatch. And he's still, the thing is, he's still relying on the same unit composition.
Yeah, he's not trying to go into Hive Tech at all.
He can't afford it. Yeah, that's the big problem.
He's spent so much gas on these Banelings. Oh, this is going to be a horrible trade, I can tell you that right now.
He's going in, he's trying to snipe these Thors. They have amazing upgrades though, and there are just way too many of them. SuHoSin is dropping in supply, even a move being called out. GG!
Suho he fell upon Ryung like water on rock, man. Ryung was not going to be taken out there. And as a result, Suho will be in Code A.
Nope.
Oh, what?
There is still a chance.
I counted on you, Counter!
Yeah,
I listened to you, man. I trusted you! I trusted your stats!
You can still trust me. There is one scenario that I actually did not account for. We have a pretty crazy situation in this group. So right now, there are a lot of possibilities that we have. I guess that the match that we are going to see next will be Polt against Ryung. That is the match that we would have seen last, but this match basically will decide if we need Vines against Jakji as well, because this situation is getting kind of crazy right now. We have Ryung right now with 2 wins, and Ryung and Polt are tied with 2 wins and 1 loss. We have Vines with 2 wins and 1 loss, and we have Lion on 2-2. There are, I think, 3 potential scenarios where we could have tie situations. If Ryung wins against Polt, he will be in Code S because he has 3 wins on 1 loss. Polt will be tied with Line and potentially with Vines if Vines loses against Jakji. If this actually happens, then let me have a quick look. Ryung would have won against Polt. Then we have a tie situation between Vines, Polt, and Ryung. Yeah. So they are going for a 3-way tie.
3-way tie.
If Polt actually pulls off a victory against Ryung, then we have Polt on 2-2. Polt advancing with 3-1.
Yeah.
And we have Ryung. No, sorry, the other way around. If Ryung wins, we have the other ties. We could have a tie situation with Polt, Vines, and Suho as well.
Right, yeah.
So,
but Jakji is out no matter what.
That's the one thing that we know for sure.
But
Jakji
he is going to play against Vines, man. He is a player in this group that, you know, when...
they actually play this game now first?
Yeah.
Okay. fair enough. I thought they would actually just make sure that we have pulled against Ryung first because, yeah. But okay, so we have Vines against Jakji first. That's
It's going to be on the same map, in fact, Antigua Shipyard. And this is, in this matchup, I think a very balanced map. Right now, Vines looking pretty decent against Terran. Like, there were some weird games that we saw so far from in this group. He hasn't really done like super standard play or anything like that. But we're just going to this game. I thought we might have a break, but I think we might just close out the group without a break.
And yeah, sorry guys that the situation is a little bit confusing right now, and I hope that I did not miss any of the points. I have everything just mapped out
right,
in front of me.
If I'm not mistaken.
But right now we have a lot of different scenarios that could happen depending on the outcome of these two games. It is a crazy group here. The only thing that we know for sure is that Jakji is out. Everything else will depend on how these players do. And at this point, well, SuHoSin has to hope that Vines is losing right now. The hopes of SuHoSin last on Jakji. Jakji didn't have a single victory today just yet, and now he has to face Vines on Antigua Shipyard. I'm pretty sure though that he will give his best, because if he would lose this and is out of the up and down group with 0-4, that would be, for a former GSL champion, that would be a little bit embarrassing.
Yeah, that's absolutely, man. It's a lot of pride on the line here for Jakji. We'll find out who's going to take this game. Again, like you said, Suho really relying on Jakji here. He's kind of playing in his stead. The map is Antigua Shipyard. We'll find out who's going to take this game in just a moment at the GSL up and down matches with Caldor and Wolf.